actually a UFO because it's unidentified.
What is that?
We can see other clouds in the vicinity. The object raises enough of a concern to wonder what exactly it could be, but it just in general looks very UFO-like.
California UFO. A cloud spotted over San Bernardino. California, in September 2020, caught the attention of UFO enthusiasts after a video showed an unusual circular shape hovering above a mountain range. The cloud appeared flat on both the top and bottom, leading the eyewitness to say it kind of looks like a spaceship. The footage quickly made its way online, drawing speculation from UFO researcher Scott C. Waring, who runs the blog UFO Sightings Daily. Waring claimed the cloud was actually a cover for multiple alien ships using a cloaking method to stay hidden while traveling across the sky. He described it as a very long UFO cloud created by what he called a cloudmaker craft, suggesting that several large ships were concealed inside. He also shared his own experience from 1989, where he claimed to witness glowing craft and cloud tunnels while serving in the U.S. Air Force. Viewers online echoed the spaceship theory, while skeptics pointed to a more grounded explanation: lenticular clouds. These are natural formations that occur when moist air flows over mountains, often creating flat, lens-like shapes. Meteorologists consider lenticular clouds one of the most common explanations for mistaken UFO sightings. Still, debate continues among those who believe we may not be alone. Hovering UFOs over the Pacific. While fishing in the Pacific Ocean, a man spotted something odd in the sky. A group of glowing lights appeared, moving in unison. The lights looked like they were coming from a larger UFO and were flying together. It felt like a coordinated movement, almost like a fleet flying over the ocean. Some people even believe they might have come from under the sea. Considering that more than 90% of the ocean remains unexplored, that theory doesn't seem too far-fetched. After hovering for a short time, the lights began heading toward the horizon, almost like they were retreating back to wherever they came from. The fishermen didn't wait around. They left quickly. Alien discovery inside pyramid. During construction work at the pyramids, one worker stumbled upon something eerie. While digging through layers of stone and dust, he uncovered a hidden room that looked like it hadn't been opened for ages. He called the others over. Inside the chamber were several bodies. As they got a closer look, they realized the figures didn't appear human. They had long heads and features unlike anything they'd ever seen. The bodies looked like aliens. It raises the question, what else could be buried in these ancient structures? Flying saucer seen in Brazil. In Brazil, people were left stunned after spotting something unusual in the sky. The object stayed completely still, hanging in the air, which made everyone nearby stop and stare. One man, trying to get a closer look, zoomed in with his camera. To his shock, the object appeared to be a saucer-shaped UFO, unlike anything he had seen before. The strange object looked like a surveillance device from another planet, quietly floating without moving at all. If what people are saying is true, shouldn't we be getting ready for an alien invasion? Share your thoughts. Glowing UFO in Pakistan. In the foggy skies of Pakistan, something unusual appeared. A glowing UFO was spotted floating through the mist. Although the video is a bit blurry, the object itself can be seen clearly. It had a strong glow that pierced through the fog and lit up the area below. Onlookers stood there, not sure what they were witnessing. The UFO moved slowly, its lights pulsing as it drifted away into the distance. At the center of the craft was a larger glowing light, maybe a door or a portal. It looked like a massive saucer. Triangular Cube UFO in Canada. In a small Canadian town in 2021, residents reported seeing a bright red triangular spaceship in the sky. Its design was very different from typical UFOs. It had sharp corners and a reddish-pink color that made it stand out. Most UFOs seen in reports are gray or silver, so this one seemed unique, almost like it was made by an alien with a creative streak. The craft hovered in place for a while before moving behind a thick cloud. UFOs with Army escort. The Nevada desert is already known for many UFO stories, but this one stands out. In this particular video, 3 flying objects were seen being approached by F-22 Raptors. The crafts were flying in a triangle formation. As the jets came closer, it became clear they were not dealing with standard flying machines. These UFOs made sudden turns, stopped instantly, and sped up in ways that broke every rule of physics. The jets couldn't make contact or catch up. Even stranger, the fighter jets began acting abnormally once they got close to the UFOs. Onlookers filming from the ground were stunned. Were these alien crafts or top-secret human inventions? No one really knows. Flying saucer in Vietnam. In Vietnam, a man heard a strange sound and looked up. What he saw was a flying saucer, spinning slowly in circles. At first, it appeared to be stationary, but then it started moving as if it were scanning the area. Its metallic body reflected the sunlight as it changed direction. The man watched as the saucer moved across the sky with ease. He recorded the whole thing, and when he shared it online, many people were convinced that it was a sign of an alien presence. UFO uproar in Kazakhstan. Several unusual lights have been seen in the sky across different parts of Kazakhstan. These lights formed specific patterns, almost looking like either a UFO or maybe even a portal. They appeared at night and glowed brightly, catching the attention of many people who came out to see what was going on. The lights created shapes and symbols that seemed like they were trying to send a message. It really felt like they were communicating something, but no one could figure out what. Could this be what the movie Arrival was trying to portray? What do you think? Leave a comment and let me know. 3 UFOs in Japan. Cutting wood usually feels like a routine task, but what happens when something from the sky turns it into a wild experience? In a quiet Japanese forest, a man cutting wood noticed strange shadows passing overhead. When he looked up, he saw 3 enormous UFOs hovering without making any sound. The crafts were huge and blocked a big portion of the sky. Their bodies looked metallic, and the silence made it all the more eerie. The fact that this happened near China made it even more curious. The man filming the event was so shaken that he dropped his axe. Alien abduction in Chicago. Here's a chilling one. In Chicago, a man walked outside and noticed a UFO hovering far in the distance. It wasn't moving, just floating there. Suddenly, he saw some animals, possibly stray cats or dogs, begin lifting off the ground. It looked like the UFO was using some kind of force to pull them up. The animals floated in the air and were taken into the ship. Within moments, the entire object lit up and disappeared into the clouds. It was like a scene straight out of a science fiction movie. Appalachian UFO. Let's switch to Florida, where back in 2015, a strange flying object was caught on camera above the Appalachian Mountains. It had a creepy appearance and was surrounded by glowing orbs that moved around it. As the UFO slowly moved, the orbs circled it in perfect sync, almost like they were being controlled by the main craft. Watching this footage is fascinating. The object floated higher, and the orbs began spinning faster. What was this thing? If this is some kind of military tech, I'd really want to know more about it. But to be honest, I doubt that's the case. Galactic dream. Russia never stops surprising us with the strange things that show up. One day, a man was out enjoying his time on a boat when he looked up and saw a massive UFO in the sky. The object was so large and shaped in a way that it blended in with the mountain, making it almost look like part of the landscape. It just stayed there. When you look closely, it feels like the object was purposely designed to match the shape of the mountain. Could this mean that aliens built it right there? I can't stop thinking about it. Is it a secret experiment or something not from this planet? Whatever it is, this sighting left me with more questions than answers. Pilot captures UFO. Captain Jorge Arteaga was flying in a helicopter with supermodel Valentina RVAs when they had an unexpected encounter. While enjoying the flight, they spotted a mysterious object in the distance. Jorge changed direction to get a closer view. Valentina leaned in and saw it too. The object didn't look like any helicopter or plane they had seen before, and it moved silently. That part always gets me. How do these UFOs fly without making a sound? It makes you wonder what kind of technology they're using. They definitely aren't running on regular fuel. Dragon UFO. Next, we have another UFO encounter in China, and this one stands out. People reported seeing an object in the sky that looked exactly like a dragon flying through the clouds. It had a long, glowing body and moved in a way that resembled how dragons are described, but on closer look, it became obvious that the glowing lights were part of a UFO. It looked too unreal. The dragon-shaped UFO twisted and turned, performing moves that no known aircraft could pull off. What could it be? A hidden military craft? UFO invasion. In the middle of Venezuela, what started as a calm evening turned into something far from ordinary when a large and strange UFO appeared in the sky. People first assumed it was just an unusual light. But that idea quickly changed as they realized it was clearly a UFO. It even cast a strange shadow beneath it. The object began to move in a way that made it seem like it was searching for something. The full video lasts around 10 minutes and shows parts of the craft, including a massive glowing opening underneath. As it came closer, the person filming noticed how massive the craft really was. It completely filled the sky within the camera frame. As night continued, odd things started happening. Pets began acting strangely. Electronic devices stopped working, and some people said they felt strange sensations. UFO sighting. In this next case, some hikers in the mountains saw a strange scene in the sky. It looked like 3 or 4 UFOs that were somehow connected, hovering above the mountain top. Why is it that UFOs often appear in groups of 3 and form triangle shapes? That pattern keeps showing up. The UFOs were glowing faintly, lighting up the area around them. What's interesting is that they didn't have wings or visible engines. If you look closely, you'll notice they moved as one unit, like they were joined by some invisible link. Green light. In this clip, a group of people on a boat set out to explore the ocean, but what they come across is completely unexpected. Bright green lights start glowing beneath the water, putting on a surreal display. But where were the lights coming from? That's where things get strange. There is no clear source. When some of them dive underwater to take a closer look, they find that some lights are actually moving, while others twinkle steadily like stars. It feels like they've discovered an alien environment hidden deep below the ocean surface. Many people over the years have described seeing lights like these, but no one has figured out what causes them. Could a UFO be hiding below? UFO chase. In the next scene, a UFO is flying through the sky while a high-speed jet chases after it. The exact location where this was filmed is still unknown. People watching speculated that the flying object might be part of a secret government experiment or prototype aircraft. The UFO makes quick and sharp moves, rising and turning in ways that are hard to follow. The jet keeps up the pursuit, doing its best to close the distance. If you pay attention, the UFO looks semi-transparent, almost as if it's blending into the sky around it. And if this was made by the government, it's a very advanced piece of technology. Desert UFO in Saudi Arabia. Near a desert survey location, a group of workers noticed something odd during their regular shift. They spotted an unknown object flying above. At first glance, they assumed it was a drone. But as they watched more closely, they realized it was actually a UFO. It suddenly dropped down to the ground, and that's when they saw two figures moving nearby. The figures looked like aliens. The workers quickly contacted their base to report the sighting, but after the craft took off, there were no further updates about what happened. UFO over Haiti. Now, over in Haiti, a couple at a beach saw 3 UFOs in the distance. These crafts looked very advanced, with bright lights glowing all around them. Suddenly, they started moving like they were being directed by something invisible. The lights began flashing in a synchronized pattern, as if the UFOs were trying to talk to each other. Soon after, they all came together and formed a perfect right triangle in the sky. One thing is clear. The technology behind these objects is far beyond what we currently know. Australia UFO emergence. Given how large Australia is, it's not too unusual for strange things to appear somewhere. Back in 2017, a massive UFO suddenly surfaced from the ocean in Sydney. You can see a huge object rising out of the water, causing waves to crash around it. It hovered briefly above the surface before slowly starting to rise higher. You can imagine how intense the moment must have been for the people watching, though this being Australia, maybe they weren't too surprised. As if recharging, the object climbed further into the sky and flew away. But it makes you wonder, why was it hiding beneath the ocean? If you have any theories, feel free to comment below. UFO on March 17, 2024. Near the Iturbide Dam in Mexico, a local family witnessed a large, brightly lit object in the sky, emitting powerful sparks of light. It made a strange, deep sound, which some believe was caused by a gravitational field. The object slowly descended behind a nearby hill and disappeared from view just like that. Hovering UFO. Not long ago in Tokyo, people spotted something strange floating in the sky. What stood out most was that it wasn't moving at all. It just stayed suspended in place, like it was frozen in midair. Those who noticed it contacted scientists, and soon after, telescopes were aimed toward the object for a better look. When the scientists viewed it up close, they confirmed that it was a UFO. It didn't show any signs of movement and just remained still. It seemed to drift along with the clouds. If you've seen the movie Arrival, you'll recognize this type of behavior. UFOs in that film acted in a similar way when entering new environments for observation. This one looked like it came from highly advanced technology. Underwater base. In a video from Inanes, California, an odd object was seen shooting sparks from the ocean. The footage shows a mysterious shape rising quickly from beneath the water, breaking the surface and flying straight into the sky. The object was described as metallic and smooth, making no sound as it launched, though it caused a huge splash behind it. After hovering for a moment, the video was shared on Reddit, where alien enthusiasts believed it was a real UFO. What do you think? UFO landing. In Australia, a farmer spotted a glowing UFO descending from the sky. Described as saucer-shaped, it hovered briefly before landing quietly in an open field. There was no sound except for a faint hum that lasted for a few minutes. The UFO remained still, seemingly observing the surroundings, while no one dared to approach. It almost seemed like aliens were waiting for the farmer to leave before coming out. Underwater UFO. On an oil platform in the South Atlantic, some workers noticed glowing lights deep under the water. There are no known military bases nearby, so that ruled out that possibility. Initially, the crew thought it might be some kind of underwater vehicle, but the lights didn't behave like anything man-made. They flickered in a way that looked more like how a UFO might. And considering how deep the lights appeared, no known vehicle could operate at that level. The workers came to the platform's edge to get a better view. The lights swirled in different colors. The video ends abruptly, leaving everyone still wondering what the lights actually were. Plane on December 29, 2012. A passenger on a flight over Florida filmed the clouds for his blog when he spotted an unusual bright blue light in the distance. "Dad, move your hand. I mean, how often do you see light like that in the clouds?" As he zoomed in, it became clear that the light was attached to a large object. The shape didn't resemble any aircraft the passenger had ever seen. What do you think? Drop a comment and share your thoughts. So, what are your thoughts on these sightings? Tell us in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more content.